So today let's try this high precision handheld LCR meter from Fnirsi. In a nice box. Let's remove this so it's not shiny and so we can actually see the picture. It measures resistances, capacitances, inductances and impedances. And some specifications here. It uses 100 Hz, 120 Hz, 1 kHz, 10 kHz or 100 kHz for the test. 0.3% accuracy. It has a display for 0.5 digits. Resistance, capacitance, inductance, impedance, and also these second parameters up to 100 Henry, 100 millifarads, which is 100,000 microfarads. Resistance is up to 10 megaohms. Internal bias, different test level voltages. This may be useful when measuring in a circuit because at lower voltages semiconductors don't conduct and don't skew the measurement. Test terminal configuration, 3 terminal or 5 terminal. I have to explore what that means. But now let's open the box. And here's the device. Nice bag. It has these terminals, these slots, discharge capacitor before testing, that's a good point. The control buttons and the display. And then in the box we have some terminals, the manual, and this. Some probes here which look like multimeter probes and these Kelvin probes. It definitely looks like ones. Maybe a jumper to short it for calibration. Of course nobody reads the manuals. And now let's try to turn it on and see. Now it's in the automatic mode. The first parameter seems to have switched automatically to capacitances, and you can manually switch it to resistances, capacitances, inductances or impedances. Let's go back to capacitances. And the second parameter can measure the dissipation factor, the Q factor, the phase angle, the ESR or the reactance. How would function? The refresh rate. Slow, medium or fast, that's interesting. The ranges, which can also be automatic. The test frequency, 100 Hz, 120, 1 kHz, 10 or 100 kHz. The test voltage level, 0.1, 0.3 or 0.6 volts. The bias. You have a separate button for every setting. You don't have to go through some complex menu. Let's try this jumper. And it's virtually zero resistance. And you still have a menu when you long press the OK button. You can sort components. The language setting. The brightness of the display. The volume of the beeper. It can turn automatically off to save the battery. The calibration with an open circuit and a short circuit. Very nice probes with these category 3 and 4 covers on them. And you can do this. Let's use the automatic function and let's try some components. Let's begin with the simplest ones, resistors, 4.7 ohms. That's low resistance resistor. Let's try even lower, 0.15 ohms. It is a little bit higher because of the resistance of the probes. We can later try the Kelvin probes, 470 ohms, 10 kilo ohms, 100 kilo ohms. And a very high resistance, 4.7 mega ohms here. It also measures it well. Let's try capacitors. This is 2 micro, a film capacitor, reads about right. You can see its dissipation factor here, manual capacitances, and the Q factor, of course high in a polypropylene capacitor. That's the angle, almost 90 degrees, which makes sense. In a good capacitor, in a capacitor with a low dissipation factor, this current is almost 90 degrees ahead of the voltage. The ESR. The reactance. I'm using 100 kHz for the test. and at 100 Hz the same capacitance, and again a very low dissipation factor. We can try electrolytic capacitors, 680 micro, 681 micro, and the dissipation factor. We can try to measure the ESR, 0.17 ohms. For electrolytic capacitors you typically use a low frequency, 100 Hz or 120. Let's try a large capacitor for 1700 micro. This one's not very accurate, but it measures it. And also its ESR, a 6.8 microfilm capacitor. It also measures it in quite a low ESR. A smaller capacitor which says 300 nano. This is very close. Let's try an even lower capacitance, 22 nano. It measures the capacitor and its ESR at 100 kHz. At 100 Hz, it actually measures a higher ESR. But generally, you have to measure high capacitances at low frequencies and low capacitances at high frequencies. And 100 kHz and its dissipation factor. Now let's try some inductors. This one says 150 microhenry and it's close. And it actually measures it in a circuit. Let's try this LED buck regulator and its inductor 35 millihenry, 31 millihenry. And it actually measures it in a circuit again. Let's try to measure capacitors in a circuit, 47 micro, and the capacitance measures quite close, and its ESR. What about the Kelvin probes? This plug actually seems to have a heat shrink on it. Am I supposed to remove it? Well, I have to insert it. It's a thick heat shrink. We are supposed to do this. Okay, let's do it. And let's plug it in here. Remove these. Now let's try the very low resistance resistor again, just 0.15 ohms. It actually reads quite close. It's much more accurate for very low resistance resistors with the Kelvin probes, because this is a 4-point measurement, and it eliminates the resistance of the probes. This is also handy for very low ESR capacitors or very low dissipation factor capacitors. This one has a very low dissipation factor and it would actually read more with the probes. You can try different frequencies. It might actually be higher at higher frequencies. Typically the datasheets of film capacitors actually say a higher dissipation factor at higher frequencies, so it's fine. You typically test the quality of electrolytic capacitors by measuring their ESR, while in non-polarized capacitors you measure the dissipation factor. Now let's measure a 220 micro polymer electrolytic capacitor. These typically have a much lower ESR than standard aluminum electrolytic capacitors. 205 micro, 0.16 ohms. This was 100 Hz, 120 is very similar, 1 kHz is significantly lower, 10 kHz even lower. These are very often used at the output of switching power supplies, where the frequency typically is between 20 kHz and 100 kHz. At such a high frequency, the capacitance is too high to measure, and it seems to be the lowest ESR at 10 kHz. Now let's compare it to the conventional electrolytic aluminum capacitor. The ESR actually, with the frequency, goes a bit down again, but definitely not so much. And a very low capacitance ceramic capacitor, just 6.8 picofarads. These are typically very difficult to measure. This is actually quite impressive. And 100 picofarads, and 56 picofarads. A 3 micromotor capacitor, and the dissipation factor seems to go up with the frequency, which makes sense. Can I measure the capacitance of this capacitive speaker? 12 nano, 1 kHz, 0.1 volts. Can you hear it? And a 16 ohm speaker made in a 995 apparently. Can I measure its inductance or impedance? Let's try impedances. Yes, it's 16 ohms at 100 Hz, 120, 1 kHz. At 10 kHz it actually goes up, which makes sense. Can you hear it? A 10 microhenry inductor, and there's different frequencies. I should probably try more in-circuit capacitors, shouldn't I? This is 100 micro and 0.6 ohms ESR. 100 micro, let's try 10 micro, 10 micro, 33 ohms ESR, and 470 micro. And the inductance of a fluorescent inductor. And going back to the 10 micro capacitor, the ESR 33 ohms actually seems quite high, but this is at 0.6 volts. At 0.1 volts it actually makes more sense, and the same at 0.3 volts. So apparently at 0.6 volts some other components are already skewing it. Probably some semiconductors are already conducting. Different frequencies. But of course for electrolytic capacitors, low frequencies are better. If you want to also measure the capacitance, not just the ESR. The 1000 microcapacitor, of course outside of a circuit, the test voltage doesn't make any difference, but it does make difference in a circuit. And the refresh rates slow, medium, fast. And of course the video is getting bloody long, but I can hear somebody screaming. Compare it to other meters. Let's try to use this one to measure the very low capacitance, 6.8 picofarads. It actually reads 28. Let's subtract the capacitance of the probes, 21, so it would be about 7. This one is skewed by the capacitance of the probes and has 1 digit less resolution. And this is actually still quite a good capacitance meter for a multimeter. But it was measured much better using this one. Let's try a 47 nanocapacitor, 46.7 and 46.6, very close. A 6.8 kilo ohm resistor reads 6.84 and here 6.83, super close. Let's also compare it to this ESR meter, which uses 100 kHz for the test, and this 100 microfarad electrolytic capacitor for the comparison. And this reads about 0.38 ohms, and this one reads 0.6 ohms, which is higher. But you have to keep in mind, this one was measuring at 100 kHz, this one is now measuring at 100 Hz. So let's increase the test frequency. It's actually lower at 1 kHz, even lower at 10 kHz, and at 100 kHz, again slightly lower, and basically the same as the reading of this one. So the ESR is a bit frequency dependent, and these both measure the same at 100 kHz. But of course the thing is that such a high capacitance as 100 microfarads can't be measured at 100 kHz, so this one actually measures the capacitance well at 100 Hz, at 1 kHz, but it's a bit off at 10 kHz and the reading is completely wrong at 100 kHz. So to measure the capacitance and the ESR, you can use 100 Hz or 1 kHz. But to measure the ESR the same way typical ESR meters do, you have to choose 100 kHz, but then you can't see the capacitance at the same time. And also to measure in circuit, you have to actually choose the right test voltage, 0.1 or 0.3 volts, not 0.6. So with this one you have to kind of know what you're doing. You have to choose the right settings for it to measure properly. If you're interested in the capacitance of electrolytic capacitors, the best setting of course is 100 Hz. And for very low capacitances, the best setting seems to be 10 kHz. This is the 6.8 picofarad capacitor. At a frequency as low as 100 Hz, this won't measure. Typically capacitance meters of multimeters auto-range by changing automatically the frequency, but here you have to choose the frequency based on what you're measuring. Low capacitances higher frequencies, higher capacitances lower frequencies. But you have the option to observe the behavior of the component at several different frequencies if you want. And the same applies to inductances. High inductances low frequencies and low inductances high frequencies. An iron inductor for a small fluorescent tube has a quite high inductance, 2.4 Henry. It measures well at 100 Hz, 120 Hz, even at 1 kHz. It's starting to be off at 10 kHz and shows a complete nonsense at 100 kHz. And the 10 ohm resistor, maybe it's possible to actually measure its internal inductance by choosing inductances and resistances as the second parameter. This measures its resistance and this its stray inductance. This still wasn't too inductive, but what about this one? A 220 ohm wire wound resistor. Its inductance is about 60 microhenry. We can try 100 kHz for the test. This simultaneously measures the resistance and its inductance. And the 1.8 kilo ohm resistor shows a couple hundred microhenry. But some resistors have a much lower inductance, because they're made of carbon or a film of a resistive layer, not a coil of a resistive wire. Let's demonstrate the test voltage settings on an oscilloscope. 0.1, 0.3 and 0.6 volts. And the offset. But I have to shift this now. This is the 0.5 volt offset. Of course the voltage reading after setting it right, 578 millivolts, 100 millivolts and about 300 millivolts. This definitely makes sense. And 100 Hz, 120 Hz, 1 kHz, 10 kHz and 100 kHz. Of course, at some point it can actually be loaded down by the tested component if it's low enough impedance for this frequency. And of course, the higher the frequency, the lower the impedance of the capacitor. And of course, this can be charged using a USB cable. It's quite a useful tool that I will probably use in my future videos. Big thanks for the donation. There will be some link in the description. And if you like my videos, please consider subscribing, supporting my channel on Patreon or using the thanks button. And big thanks to all of you who already support me. Without your support, non-AI videos will disappear from the internet.